Well, welcome back to our program. We want to thank Don Sorelli for coming in and telling us about the Ulster Project, Peace Project. That shows some real good leadership. And speaking of leadership, we've got an election coming up next Tuesday when a lot of folks are going to be up for election or re-election. A lot of issues are going to be on the ballot. I was disappointed last week when I read the repository. I think it was Sunday. Everyone was expecting their endorsement from about the mayor's race especially, and they chose not to endorse. They said both candidates had lacked a lot of things, and they're right. Neither candidate is perfect, but I tell you, there's one that shines above the other one, and that's the one that I'm going to have to say that's who I would vote for if I could vote. And I know I don't have a dog in this fight. You don't have to tell me that because I don't live within the city limits of Canton. But I see that Canton's the county seat. There's a lot of things that the city of Canton does that affects the entire county. And we all have a vested interest in who is going to be the best leader, the better leader of the city of Canton. Now, you know the mayor, William Healy, is running for re-election. His opponent is Kim Perez. He is currently the city treasurer. And you know, Kim's not a bad guy. Healy's not a bad guy. They both have their shortcomings, but they also both have their pluses. But again, I was disappointed that the rep failed to endorse, so I feel compelled to do that too. I've got a responsibility, I think, as the talk show host for the 10 to 12 hours to render my opinion. But that doesn't mean that you don't have access to telling me who you think, and you can do that. You can give us a call at 330-450-1480, or you can hit me up on the email machine. Now, my interest in endorsing either candidate is because I want to see good leadership. We look at the leadership situation on the state level, on the national level, it's abhorrent. It's bad. There are too many people in leadership positions who've been elected to office who say things and do things that are just plain out and out crazy. Look at Ted Cruz. Look at people like that. Look at some of the folks on the left, some of the folks on the right. They're all running for either to be a correspondent on Fox News or to get their names in the paper and on the newscast as much as they can so that they can raise some money. They can establish their own political action committee and go out and raise money for their election, knowing they're not going to win, but getting all that money. But now, not all of them are doing that. But bringing it down to the local level. As you know, we had a debate here on our program. A lot of things were discussed. Neighborhoods and neighborhood associations, crime, and vision, things of that sort. But I've got to tell you that both candidates have blemishes. But both candidates, and I got to be honest with you, both candidates have some pluses. And I want to concentrate on the pluses. But first, I want to give you a cut from last week when we were having our mayoral debate. And this particular candidate said some things that I felt and still do feel that warrant this person to be elected mayor of the city of Canton.
I'm proud of my record as your mayor, including how we were able to manage the city through the worst recession in our history. One of the first things I did was surround myself by the most talented, educated, qualified professionals I could find. And then I challenged them to do great things, and they have. Since taking office, we've reduced crime by 25%, and we've attracted dozens of new businesses that have created thousands of new jobs in our city, which explains why our unemployment rates are at the lowest in 30 years.
Okay, that was the voice of current Mayor William Healy. I think he would make a better mayor than his opponent, Kim Perez. Now, sure, Mayor Healy has some blemishes. Remember the credit card situation? That was dumb. Remember him trying to park in a handicapped parking spot without a sticker? That was dumb. But he's done some other dumb things during his tenure, as we all have done some dumb things in the last 8 years. But the things that he did on the dumb side are far outweighed by the things that he's done on the good side. I think he is going out of his way to try to bring more and more jobs to the city of Canton. He's done things to help companies, and sure, there's companies who are leaving. Nationwide say they're leaving. Republic, and even Timken has transferred some jobs. But there's only so much a mayor can do. And I believe that Mayor Healy tried to do his best to keep those companies from leaving, just like he's done his best to try to get other companies to locate in Canton. And I think he's done a fairly good job. Now, some other issues I got with him, Maria over at Arcadia Lounge, and I agree on the parking situation in downtown Canton. She owns the Arcadia Grill, and the parking meters are not fair. There's some in front of her restaurant that charge $2, I believe, where right around the corner they charge $0.25. So there should be some consistency there. And those parallel parking that you got to back into, that's hard for me to do. I saw a senior citizen last week take 20 minutes to back into a spot. I had to get out of my car and help that person back in to their spot. But there's some things that Mayor Healy has done that I like. First of all, the staff that he chose, and he's proud of this staff, and he should be. Fonda Williams, Deputy Mayor of the City of Canton. They don't come any better. They don't come any more qualified than Fonda Williams. Fonda has been instrumental in doing a lot of positive things in economic development, in social development, all around the city and all around the county. When people need something done for the City of Canton and they can't get anybody else, they call Fonda. And Fonda Williams makes it happen. So one of the best things that Mayor Healy ever did was appoint Fonda Williams as his deputy mayor. Another good thing that he did was he chose Andrea Perry as his safety director. Boy, what a resume. She's tough, she's fair, she's independent, she knows her job, she's got all the credibility in the world, she's got the respect of the police department and the fire department because they know she's fair, she's honest, and she's direct. You don't have to question when Andrea Perry is around because she'll tell you. You don't have to wonder what her position is because she'll volunteer it. She's a good leader with all her responsibilities as safety director of the city, but it's once again another reason to reelect Mayor Healy. There's Paul Bartos. Paul is the service director for the City of Canton. He is a great guy as well. He's very well qualified. He's got a lot of good things going on. He's an attorney. He's got, Bill Bartos. Yeah, Paul Bartos is a friend of mine who happens to be a doctor. That is not who I'm endorsing. I'm endorsing Bill Bartos. But everybody knows who Bill Bartos is. But again, these are three reasons right up front why Mayor Healy should be reelected. And when I asked Mr. Perez who he was going to hire on his staff, now legally he can't say. He can't say, I'm going to hire, when I get elected, I'm going to hire so-and-so as my safety director. An obscure legal law won't let him say that. But a lot of folks are assuming that one of his biggest supporters in council will be on his staff, either service director or safety director. But this person has a lot of questions attached to him. His experience level, for one. I don't want to say this too loud, but his intelligence level is another. I just think that the people that I've heard rumored to be on Kim Perez's staff, if he were mayor, can't hold a candle to Fonda Williams or Andrea Perry or Bill Bartos. So those are just three reasons why I think Mayor Healy should be reelected. Now, I'm not sure where Mr. Perez stands on this vision thing. I've asked him over and over again about the tax credits that the Onesto Hotel got, the community survey that's going on right now. He's not too hot on either one of those. Either one of them. In fact, I don't think, and I have to be careful here because I'm not sure, but he hasn't showed too much enthusiasm for this broad community-based survey that's going on. I think a city needs a strategic plan to get to the next level and to understand where they are in this current level. This community-based survey costs $350,000 will do just that. And not just for the mayor, but for council as well to use as a tool to help run the City of Canton's government. But also the neighborhoods. I tell you, not too long ago, there was a community celebration, and I saw this young couple with two little kids. They were Hispanics, and it was up on 12th Street. They had this community celebration going on, and they looked up and saw this police officer, and they ran toward the police officer, not away from, toward a police officer. And the officer looked up. He was talking to the chief, Bruce Lawver, and he looked up and saw these kids coming, and he started smiling. And he rushed toward them, and he picked them up and hugged them, and they were talking about the previous week and the things that they had done. That makes good community police relations. And yes, that is what's going on right now. I give Police Chief Bruce Lawver a lot of credit for that. In fact, Mr. Perez released a statement on police community relations. And I read it, but to me, and I might have missed something, it was exactly what's being said on the City of Canton's website, because that's exactly what Chief Bruce Lawver is doing. Now, I'm not accusing Kim Perez of plagiarism. I'm accusing him of not having much vision and not really knowing the position of mayor. Now, it's granted, finally, Mr. Healy does. It took him a while. But we know Mr. Healy. We know what his strong points are. We know what his weak points are. Just like we should know what Mr. Perez's strong points are and what his weak points are. But if you add them all together, every last one of them, for the benefit of the city of Canton, for the benefit of Stark County, I would suggest, I support Mayor William Healy for re-election.
It's springtime. You're thinking about, I've got to sell my